Well, hey there. It's me, Josh Chanyon, your host of Los Banos today, and I'm here with a very talented individual, Mr. Terry Brown.
Hey, Josh.
How you been?
I've been better.
Been better? Feeling
Yeah,
a little under?
Had that flu for the last week, so
That's been
we're
going
kind of,
around.
we're kind of getting out of bed for the first time in about a week. So,
Well,
I'm alive.
I'm glad that you decided to be here. So
I appreciate the opportunity. We've been trying to make this happen since before Thanksgiving, so
Well, good.
But been busy and then sick, so. Congratulations on the new gig, by the way.
Yeah, hey, thanks.
Man,
I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that they're enjoying it.
You'll do great.
Because I am nervous as heck, but
don't be.
I'm not gonna show it though. Not gonna show it.
Not gonna show it.
Exactly. You got to put on that face.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, for those that don't know anything about Terry Brown, I'd like him to talk a little bit about himself. So let's see.
Yeah.
You are a cowboy country music artist.
Correct. Yep.
And you've won a couple awards here recently.
Yeah, we
them?
had a pretty good year last year. We had. As a matter of fact, I got one of them.
Hey, there it is.
That's the Male Vocalist of the Year award. There's an organization called the Pro Cowboy Country Artist Association, based out of Fort Smith, Arkansas.
I was like, say that one 5 times fast.
Yeah.
Right?
No.
Yeah.
But anyway, they contacted me in June of last year and informed me that one of my songs, Party on the Prairie, had been nominated for Song of the Year. And
It's a good song too.
yeah, oh, thanks.
I
man.
like
I
it.
appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know where I came up with that idea, but who knows. But so they asked if I could come to Fort Smith to the award show and perform the song on television. They actually had the show on RFD's Cowboy channel. It aired.
SNC TV? SCN TV?
No. No. This is like I say, RFD on Dish Network.
Yeah.
They have a block of stations, and one of them is called the Cowboy Channel.
Oh, well, there you
And
go.
it's strictly cowboy equestrian programming, and so he had a national sponsor, Henry Rifles.
Nice.
And so they took it to RFD, and RFD jumped on it, and so I told them, sure, man, I would love to do that. And then I received a letter a couple of weeks later. It wasn't just nominated for Song of the Year. We were nominated for that, for Album of the Year, Songwriter of the Year, Male Vocalist, and Entertainer of the Year. So didn't know all that from the phone call. So
Right.
And then we ended up. They asked me to perform a second song on the show, which we did, and got to go to the award show October. We taped it October 12th in Fort Smith, and then it aired on November 12th or November 14th for the first time. And actually, there were some Los Banos people that went with us. I mean, we have some great friends. Gene and Christine Brandy actually flew to Fort Smith, Arkansas. Ann Whitehurst.
Get
and her
out, that's
husband, Robert,
awesome.
Yeah. Are friends of ours, and they flew and went to the show as well. And then, of course, I have all kinds of family in the Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri area.
Right, they were saying, so I was watching the video before you went and performed Party on the Prairie, and they had come out and introduced you as a confused individual.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, born in Oklahoma, lived in Tennessee for 28 years, and now lives in California.
That's what it was.
That's enough to confuse anybody. He said, yeah, that's Royal Wade Kimes. Royal is a kind of a cowboy country legend, and is the guy who really put the association together and made the TV show happen, and like so many cowboy country or western artists, there's just not been a big platform for that. I mean, there's a pretty good radio network out there, stations that play at least partial programming on western cowboy music, but he's giving us a national television platform that we've never had before. And,
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, my hat's off to Wade. That's a huge undertaking. I mean, putting together an association and doing a nationally televised live event the first year is, I mean, it's unheard of. Yeah, it's just unheard of. And he did a great job. They did a great
Absolutely.
job. Yeah.
So we were talking about it a little bit ago. There's country music, and then there's cowboy country music. Now, how would I decipher between the two? I mean, I've heard what you've got, and I agree. One's different than the other.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what's the biggest difference for you?
Well, you know, there used to be a lot of similarities. You know, it really, country music back in the 40s and 50s was cowboy music. I mean, you had Gene Autry and Tex Ritter and Roy Rogers, and those were the guys at the top of the charts, that kind of music. Even Bob Wills' The Western Swing, which is still considered a cowboy type of music. And then you had Marty Robbins come along in the 60s and 70s and 80s that still brought that kind of story to the forefront with songs like El Paso and Mr. Shorty and all that stuff, you know. So, and then finally it kind of split a little bit. Toby Keith comes along and Should Have Been a Cowboy, which is the most played country song in history, you know, and then it just kind of all goes away, and there hasn't been a lot of cowboy related stuff other than a few bull riding things,
right.
You know, occasionally something will come along, but what cowboy country music is, I mean, it has the traditional country feel and structures and those kinds of things, but the subject matter is more not only Western and cowboy related, but to us that do this kind of music, there's a code, a cowboy code that we really try to instill in everything that we do, and it's about honesty and integrity and, you know, love of God and family and country, and so you're not going to hear a lot of things out there in the cowboy country genre that aren't related to those kind of
right.
things. I mean,
from what I got from
yeah.
listening to some of your songs, they're stories, but they're giving you a moral of how I've been taught to live my life.
Absolutely,
and
yeah.
It's a lot. It's way different from
Yeah.
swinging hips and drinking beers.
Yeah,
and
absolutely, and nothing wrong with that.
No.
You know, we wrote that kind of music for a long time in Nashville and had great success with that, and occasionally still I write songs like that.
Yeah.
It's all about the song. It's really what you want to say, and so I'm not saying that anybody's not
is
doing
worse
it
or
bad.
better.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
but
It's what it is.
that's just something that I really noticed when I was
But
listening to your
you know,
music.
cowboy country music, that's what you're going to find is the family values, the moral character, you know, and believe me, I'm sure we have our share of outlaws and stuff out there too. But
I'll bet.
and as a matter of fact, Wade calls himself the gentleman outlaw, and there's. And then, you know, I had a handle. I used to do cowboy fast draw shooting here, and when the Golden State Gunslingers, I was one of the original 30 members of it, and
check that out.
and they called me the outlaw preacher, which I'm not by no means a preacher, but you know, so I have that moral side that I want to try to instill in what we do, and yet, you know, I believe in the individual, and I believe that you know, you be who you are. Don't hide who you are, and just let yourself be shown to the world.
Awesome.
Know?
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so I gotta ask. When I was listening to your songs, you are really good at painting a picture. I mean, at least for me, I'm just sitting there going, "Wow, yeah, I see everything he's talking about." Yeah. Is there a law to how you write your songs? Is there, like, if you could give somebody at home, you know, 3 main rules to writing a good song, what would those 3 rules be?
Okay, and you know, and we'll get into this a little bit more later, but I'm doing a songwriting seminar on February 24th, and there are some things we're going to cover, because there are some, you know, songwriting is one of those funny things that there are rules, and then once you learn how to circumvent them is when you really become a good songwriter. I think there are some basic things. First of all, talk about what you know. You know,
Hi, I'm Gabe, the owner of the Central Valley Geeks. Did you know we offer iPhone screen repair? We can repair most iPhone screens within 15 minutes. Stop on by or give us a call, 209-826-3410. We are located at 924 6th Street, downtown Los Banos. Thank you. Have a great day.
I know a lot about Western history, and I know a lot about, experience thing. I've been blessed to be all over the world basically, and you see the differences between how we live and how other people live, and how our history, as short as it is, has so many colorful things in it that so many people don't even know about anymore. There's just, our heritage is short, but very storied. I mean, there is so much that has gone on to make this country what it is. And so write about what you know, and so that's really what I try to do. And you take life experience from yourself and from other people that have told you stories. I mean, a lot of my things, like there's a song on the Cowboy album called Life is Just a Crapshoot. And I caught a lot of flack over that title in the Western genre, because that's not a typical word you would hear.
No, you wouldn't.
But it's a true story. Back when I was in Nashville, a friend of mine and I were riding and kind of got stuck and went out to lunch to this little hole-in-the-wall place, and we're having a burger and a beer, and there was an old man sitting next to us at the bar, and that's the gist of the conversation we had. Is hey,
chatting them up.
You never know what you're going to get. You can't. You just have to live your life. You can't get stuck in the past. You can't get stuck on bad things. You have to move on. And so that's basically what that song is all about. And so you write about what you experience. And thirdly, always be honest about it. You don't, even if it's a made up place, even if it's something that you take this one little bit of experience and you turn it into something that really didn't happen, you try to put an honesty to it. You try to say, okay, how would the story have resolved? And in real life, is this something that could possibly happen?
Right.
So I think those are the things that I look at, is just, you try to write about something, you write it from experience, and you try to make it truthful, and you try to make it honest.
Well, sweet.
Yeah.
More about that on February 24th, right?
February 24th, yeah, we're doing a thing. We did this a couple of years ago as well, and we were up against the Tomato Festival and didn't have a great turnout for the writing seminar, but this time I think we're in a little better position, and we are doing from 1 p.m. till 5 p.m. Doing a writer seminar it's not at the Art Center, but it's at the building next to it, and I can't remember what they call the building now, but and so from 1 to 5, there's a $40 charge for that, but included in that, you also get a ticket for the concert.
For the concert to happen later.
Yeah, and so the concert will be from 7 to 9. Anyone who participates in the writing seminar will have the opportunity, if they want to get up and perform a song.
Oh, that's cool.
Or a poem, or tell a story, whatever it is that they do. Because it's all, creative writing is all very similar, whether it's writing songs or poems or novels, or, the process is very, very similar. So
right.
This is a PowerPoint presentation. It's part of a 2-day seminar that I've done over the years, and it's very informative. We're gonna hit on the process itself rather than the business part of it.
Right.
So it's going to be more about the process, and we'll actually take a great song and dissect it at some point, and let them know why it was the song that it was, and so try to maybe clear some things up for them, give them a little bit of inspiration, and let them know that it's, even though it's something that you have in here, there's also a process,
Process and a structure
right, you bet, yeah.
coming up
It's
with it.
something that you have to learn in order to do consistently. I mean, I've seen people who have written great songs and have had a hit song, but they didn't know anything about songwriting and they weren't able to follow that up. And then you have the guys, the Paul Williamses of the world, who wrote song after song after song after song
And just
because
stayed up there.
they know it's a process, yeah.
Right.
And they were able to follow that.
Now, was that this process and stuff? Was that something that you were just born with it, or did you have to go to school for that, or?
Well, both. I mean, I actually did both. I think, you know, I think most songwriters have some. It's like a painter, you know, an artist. You have some innate talent, but there are things there are places you can go to polish that. I went to a school in Claremore, Oklahoma. At the time, it was a junior college, Claremore Junior College, but the music program was called the Hank Thompson School of Country Music. And now, of course, in Nashville, they have the Mike Curb Music School and all that. But it concentrated on songwriting, music publishing, and actual performance. And so those were things that were very beneficial to me before I moved to Nashville. And then once I got to Nashville, I was fortunate enough. I had a couple of songs that caught attention, and it pulled me into a circle of some of the greatest songwriters in Nashville, and guys that are in that are past now, unfortunately, but they are in the Songwriting Hall of Fame, and so we learned the process more, you know, as we went, and some of them would have told you, hey, they learned from me as well. It's just, that's what it's all about. And that's why co-writing is so cool, you know. It's because you do learn so much from that process.
And through that process and meeting all those people, what is it? You have 5 gold albums and 2 platinum?
I have 5 gold, 2 platinum. Yeah, we've been on a total of over 10 million record sales. Yeah, worldwide.
That's awesome.
And you know, so it's just something you have to pursue it. It's like a job. It's a career. You get up in the morning, and that's what you do. You go to your office and you write songs. And there were some of us who had 3 appointments a day. We'd start at 7 o'clock, right from 7 to 10, 10:30 to about 1:30, take a lunch break, and then write from 2:30, 3 o'clock on to about 6 o'clock, and then go home.
Wow.
And so there were years where, you know, I wrote well over 100 songs a year, you know.
How many songs do you think you're up to now?
Almost
Total?
1,400, yeah.
14,
yeah. Maybe a little
hand
more
cramp.
than that, but I know guys who have 3 times that.
Oh,
you know.
really?
Oh my God, yeah. The late Don Frimmer, who, oh God, what a beautiful man and great songwriter, wrote so many huge hits over the years. Meet in the Middle by Diamond Rio, and
oh, yeah.
I can't name the Tim McGraw cuts. I mean, he had so many cuts, but you know, and then Kim Williams, who was, what can you say? He was the most brilliant guy I've ever met, I guess, you know, and he passed away a couple of years ago as well. So, but it wrote most of the Garth Brooks stuff, you know, Papa Love Mama.
Great song.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Loving that.
Yeah. So, but I was lucky enough to write with all those guys and learn. Aaron Tippin, you know, one of my best buddies, and great songwriter, great guy, and I learned so much from Aaron as far as writing.
Sweet, man. Okay, so let's see. Question that I was thinking of yesterday. Do you have any country jokes that you might want to tell?
Oh boy. Well, I have a couple of things that I use on stage every now and then. But my wife performs with me a lot. My wife's a trick and fancy roper. She's from here in Los Banos, yeah. Which you should talk to her one of these days. She has some great stories and a beautiful person as well. And she's been nominated to be inducted into the Cowboy Hall of Fame, and so
that's big.
It is.
That's awesome, man.
Huge, man. Yeah, and you know, people here in Los Banos, some of the older ones would remember her probably, a lot of the older families, but But a lot of the younger people may not even realize, that a Los Banos native, she was born and raised here. The things she's done is absolutely amazing. She's toured Taiwan, China. She's toured South Korea.
Taiwan, South Korea.
Yeah.
Wow.
And she's been, performed before heads of states and kings and queens, and the things she's done is amazing. So,
Yeah, we might
talk
have
her
to
and
get
you
on
might
that.
do
We're gonna-
that, yeah. But we patter back and forth kind of off the cuff most of the time. We're kind of like Sonny and Cher.
Oh, okay.
Thing. But I do have a couple things that I share. I do a little thing where I'll just tell people. I say, I've learned a lot of things over the years out on the road, and I've learned one of the things that I've learned and that I definitely don't want to see happen is, if I go, whenever I pass away, I want to go like my grandfather did. I just want to close my eyes and lay my head down and go. Not like the two people in the back seat.
Screaming and kicking.
Yeah, screaming and kicking, yeah.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
So, just those kind of little things that everybody's heard before, but they don't always think about.
No,
So,
that's funny. That's good stuff.
But anyway, I hope people get to come out to the show on the 24th of February.
Yeah.
And hope that we see a lot of people at the songwriting seminar. It's going to be a lot of fun, and you're going to learn something. I guarantee you're going to learn something you didn't know about songwriting.
It sounds like it's going to be a great experience.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Well,
So.
Can't wait to see you out there, man.
All right.
Well,
Jack,
thanks for coming in.
Well, thanks for having me. And,
Yeah, no problem.
It's going to be a busy year this year. We're booking a lot of shows, doing a big tour to the Midwest in June and then back in October. And I got the award show again. And they've asked me to host. They're going to do in 2019, they're going to start a monthly worldwide radio show called the Cowboy Opry. And it's going to be a 90-minute live radio show, and they've asked me to host a 30-minute segment of that.
That's going to be way fun.
It is. It's going to be incredible, and
Tune into that.
yeah, and
Tune into that.
It's a ways away. Like I said, it'll be 2019, I think, before they're going to start it.
Okay,
But,
put it in your calendar.
yeah.
And then tune into that.
So anyway, come see us. We're going to have fun. I promise.
All right. Well, hey. Thanks for tuning in again. Remember, this is Los Banos Today. It's your news from your town. And I'm Josh Chanyon. You guys have a great day.